Welcome to 4,000 Weeks, the weekly audio dispatch from 4kweeks.com and me, Spencer, your host. I'm feeling a little bit silly today. I don't know why. We've been doing so much filming in the studio and so much filming of me that now I feel like I'm constantly a character. Anyway, it is week 42 of 2025. It is finally starting to feel like fall around here. The walnuts are falling from the trees, leaving dents in the ground as they fall. Watch your head. I'm serious. They will knock you out. The first thing that I owe you, of course, is the punchline or the setup. No, I'm not going to. Ooh, that'd be funny. I'm going to give you the punchline first. Here's the punchline to the joke. I'll give you the setup at the end. The punchline is, it's making headlines. It's making headlines. We'll get to the setup for the dad joke of the week at the end. Meanwhile, it's time for you to walk over to your 4K Weeks poster and fill in another square. Are you finished? Do you guys even do that? I feel like maybe I asked that last week. Do you even take a moment to fill out your poster? You probably listen to this in your car, actually, so you probably forget about it as soon as you get to the next light. Oh well, that's okay. As long as you're listening. All right. Subscribe to this podcast. If you're subscribing and like it and share it with your friends, do all the stuff, pat me on the back, massage my ego. That'd be great. Oh my goodness. How exhilarating it is. You can tell in the sound of my voice, how exhilarating it is to be in the thick of a new project, right? We are still working on the videos for the studio. It's this idea I've had for a long time and we're finally doing it. And it's kind of crazy how much work it's taking in the best way possible. I hired a videographer. He's doing awesome. It's amazing. It's really fun. He's kind of added to the studio, which is great because I'm pretty particular about that. People can either be, they can be additive to the energy in a good way, or they can be subtractive. And it's really important to make sure that it's like, wow, you make this place better, as opposed to, it's kind of hard to deal with you. So anyway, episode 2 of our 4-week series will launch on Sunday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday the 12th. Sunday the 12th. Today's Friday the 10th. I think that's right. Math sometimes is hard for me when I'm dealing with minutes or days. But it's going to launch on Sunday at noon, and it's really fun. The first one you can see on YouTube. It's just at E.S. Schubert Sculpture is the YouTube channel. It's really awesome. It's overwhelming. We're kind of in the middle of the swamp trying to figure out not only what are we doing, but how to document what we're doing so we can repeat it and make it easier. And it's just really overwhelming in the best sense of the word. And I wish for you the exhilaration of an uncertain, creative, exciting, motivating prayer to the universe. That's what this is. It's an idea that I had a long time ago. We're finally doing it. I feel like it's interesting. I feel like it's going to be fun for people to watch, and it's awesome. And so, head over there. You can see the link in the email if you want to if you see episode 2, or you can just go to YouTube and search E.S. Schubert Sculpture and find it, I'm sure. Yeah, it's pretty great. Pretty great. So I wish that for you, because it's so life-giving. I'm exhausted at the end of the day because we're like today we filmed all morning, and it's just giving me energy. So that's awesome. Week 42 of the year 2007. Oh, this one's kind of sad. Former Pakistan Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto returned to Pakistan after being exiled for 8 years. She was 2,834 weeks old, or 54.36 years old. Every single day of every single year has some interesting thing that happens. We're now a big enough, well, we've probably always been a big enough part of the planet for it, something to be interesting that is happening. But it is weird to me that we don't run out of things for each week. Oh well. The quote of the week. The quote of the week this week is a good one. It's from George Eliot, and I really like it. It's a good reminder right now. What do we live for if it is not to make life less difficult for each other? What do we live for if it is not to make life less difficult for each other? There's a million different permutations of the lesson in the opposite of this. Trying to fill the hole in your soul with stuff or things or entitlements or whatever. There's a million different narcissistic, egotistical ways to do the opposite of that sentence. To make life about something other than what's outside of you and make it only about what's for you, what's for me, what's for you. And I think this is one of the most frustrating things about the current minute. It seems like it's no longer, is the word gauche it's no longer gauche, or it's no longer embarrassing to scream to high heaven about what I'm entitled to and what I deserve. And it seems like it's suddenly strength, like a sign of strength, to vilify anyone who dares to disagree with you demanding your God-given right to whatever the heck you woke up this morning thinking you deserve. And I just would like to remind all of us that none of this is mine and none of this is yours. It's that guy's. It belongs to that guy driving his Mustang down the street with the big, huge, loud engine. I'm sure you just heard that. Anyway, none of this is mine. And none of this is yours. We're all just lucky to be here. Almost every single human I have ever met, almost all of the time, we're all weak. We all yell at the guy in traffic in front of us sometimes. None of us is perfect. But almost every single human I have ever met is just a person trying to live a rewarding life without stepping on too many toes. Maybe go on a few vacations. Maybe make sure your kids launch successfully into the world. Other than that, can I just sit here and have my cup of coffee, right? Sure, it's true. I have met a few narcissistic egomaniacs in my life who would much rather have burnt it all down to the ground as long as they get exactly what they want whenever they want it. But they're like a vanishingly small minority, probably 5. I've probably met 5 people who I felt like at their core don't understand that this isn't all about them all the time. And I've lived for 48 years. That's a pretty good number. It's a small minority. And I'll also say this, every single one of those people was pretty wealthy in one way or another. So I think we can just give all of the poor people a break and maybe that there might be a few exceptions to that rule, but who cares? I don't know what a good life is other than this one that I'm trying to create, right? I think it's a good life and I'm trying to make it a good life. That reminds me of, gosh dang it, one of the saddest scenes I've ever seen in a movie, which is at the end of Saving Private Ryan, where the old man, Private Ryan, who is now an old man, goes back to the grave, spoiler alert, goes back to the grave of the really nice captain who led the troop to try to save him, who was just a math teacher or something in Iowa in World War II. And he kneels down in front of his, God, it's going to make me cry right now thinking about it. He kneels down in front of his grave and he's like, I've tried to live a good life, because this guy died saving his life. And he's like, I think I've been a good man. I've tried to live a good life. What do we all owe to all of those people who have laid down their lives so that we could do whatever the heck we're doing today? I mean, I don't know what a good life is other than the one I'm trying to create. There are just too many possible permutations of a life to put a pin on what a good life is. But I certainly know that if you and I focus on making life easier on the people around us, that can't be a bad life. It can't. There is no human tradition that says that's a bad idea. None of this is mine. None of this is yours. At the very most, it belongs to our grandchildren, but it doesn't even belong to them. We're all just lucky to be here. Be kind. It's a pretty easy thing to do if you have enough courage to try. And I know if you're listening to this podcast that I'm preaching to the choir, but I just feel like thoughts and words have energy, and now's a pretty good time to be putting that out there. Okay, what I consumed this week. Man, I've listened to the Alabama Murders, that podcast. So good. Gosh dang, it's so good. I can't wait. I don't really love true crime, but I do like this podcast. I don't know if you'll like it. It acknowledges murder and some pretty horrible things, but it is fascinating. Malcolm Gladwell can spin a yarn, man. That is the truth. What else? Oh, I was reading C.S. Lewis's The Screwtape Letters. Kind of interesting. I have a hard time with older stuff. Just like something about my brain does not love it. What's the other book? The Night Circus. My wife gave me The Night Circus to read, and I'm on like page 2 of it. I've been really tired this week. Something about doing a creative a new creative endeavor just will suck the freaking calories out of you and your brain. So I've been really tired going to bed really early, but I've listened to that and that's pretty good. Let's just see. Hold on. I'll be honest with you. Didn't put this in the email, and when I record the podcast, I'm reading the email, but I just remembered something that I listened to. And Andrew, who was a listener of the podcast, came to town and I had coffee with him at one point. He was telling me that he had tried Ozempic a while back. One of the GLP-1s. I don't know if it was Ozempic, and experienced some interesting results, which I listened to the daily podcast called Marriage and Sex in the Age of Ozempic. You should listen to it. And you should not think about Ozempic. It's a discussion of a married couple, one of whom the wife is on Ozempic and has lost a lot of weight and kind of experiencing all of the kind of psychological and cultural changes that come from switching from a large person into a small person. But then also her desire to have sex. Sorry if this is children listening to this, but adults do have sex. It's not explicit or offensive. It's a truth about the world. Her desire had totally disappeared for that. And it really brings up a whole bunch of conversations about like, what do we owe to each other? What kind of agreements are we entering into with each other in relationships? And also like, I think a lot, we talked about this in Mastermind this morning. If those GLP-1 drugs, if they work by removing your cravings, I think people say that those things just make you not interested in eating food as much, and so you just eat a lot less food. The entire world exists because of human desire, right? Buildings get built because people want wealth and power and status so that they can impress their neighbors and have access to attractive mates. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're just apes with opposable thumbs and the spark of consciousness. It's not, it almost all can be boiled down to some very base evolutionary principles, I feel like. And man, that's a civilizational change if that is a true thing that those drugs do. And as the story says, 1 out of every 7 adults in America have tried those drugs. That's kind of insane to think about. Anyway, listen to that podcast. It's the daily podcast, and it's called, oh, come on. My phone is locking up on me. Sorry. This is a little bit rocky today. That's okay. I'm just a dude making a podcast. Not a pro. Marriage and Sex in the Age of Ozempic. That's the title of that episode. You should go listen to it. Okay. We have moved on to what I am thinking about this week. And I know I've been talking a lot about the experience. I mean, this whole podcast in email is about what I'm doing. So hopefully you will forgive me talking over and over again about the thing I'm doing right now. And we are creating this video series, and it's kind of been full immersion. I mean, we just jumped into the deep end. I hired this guy Hoodie. He's great and spectacular, and we spend all week doing this. Sometimes he's off editing and stuff, and I'm doing the regular work I'm doing. But it's like the whole of my existence right now, and it got me thinking about how special this all is. What we're doing here, what I'm doing here, what you're doing right now, what this life is for you, what this life is for me. Because this week while filming, we're actually working on content for the 3rd episode. It's hard to keep straight because we got 2 episodes ahead. So like the one that's launching this week isn't even the one we're talking about now. So it's kind of gets jumbled in my head. But the 3rd episode of the new video series, and I said something because Hoodie and I are like having a dialogue while I'm recording all this stuff, right? He's asking me questions and I'm talking to the camera and stuff. And I said something that really hit me later. So he was talking about, I had just described how I was thinking about making this machine to make this part easier. But then I decided that just doing it the hard way was probably better than spending the time to build the machine. And he said something to the effect of like, I've been here for 3 weeks and seriously every day we've talked about something that you have made or something that you're planning on making. He was like really kind of blown away by how much stuff I make. And I thought about that for a second while I was working. At the time I think I'm cleaning up the mess from the CNC machine, like a whole bunch of foam dust. And I said this to him, and I've been thinking about it since I said it. This might be the only 100 years in all of eternity that I have opposable thumbs and am able to act upon the world. And so I'm going to try to make the most of it, right? I'm trying to do the things I want to do in this limited amount of time. And I got really kind of amped and excited about that. I think that's like a foundational principle of my life, and I really hadn't figured it out until I said that out loud, that this is it, maybe, as far as I know. If I want to make something, I better get it done sometime in the next 40 years, because I don't know if there's going to be another opportunity. Seriously, think about it. If, let's just say, heaven and angels are your thing. Let's just say you believe in heaven and angels. Then certainly being an angel is different. It's a different experience than being a human. And so this might be your one chance to be in a body doing this like stuff, this physical body manipulation of the world, right? You know, you see in movies like ghosts are having a hard time like trying to move things, right? Think about that from a like truly real spiritual perspective. If universal spirituality or whatever is your thing, you know, if you're not a heaven and angels person, sure, maybe it will be great to be stardust one day with a view of the expanse of the universe and all time existing at once in your consciousness, right? And like, you know, you being able to see the dawn of the universe and the demise of the universe in one go. But as far as I know, you can't climb a mountain up there. You can't trip over a rock and skin your knee up there, which has its own beauty. You certainly can't restore an old Jeep up in the cosmos. There are likely some activities, however boring they may be to you right now, however trivial and insignificant and maybe even annoying they may be to you in your, 48th year of life, when it feels like every single night for the end of eternity you will do the dishes, and then the dishes are just dirty again the next night, and so you have to do them over and over again, right? It could feel like that. But some of those activities, there's a chance that some spiritual essence would kill to be able to experience, right? Imagine if you have been the gas-like expression of consciousness floating around in a nebula somewhere in like the vicinity of Antares, which I think is the name of a star. And you're witnessing the universe and you see someone doing the dishes and you're like, oh, I would love to do the dishes, as an expression of your consciousness. But of course, it probably takes 1,000 years for you even to formulate that thought, because you're such a diffuse bit of matter, right? It's insane if you think about it like this. How about giving and receiving a hug, or doing the dishes, or walking or running, or any teeny tiny insignificant human expression is the rarest thing in the world, even though it seems stupid and boring to us. It is all so special when you expand the timeline to infinity. Things only seem mundane because you don't remember the eons and eons and eons of almost nothing happening. And in light of that, wow, like the millions and billions of years of your particles floating around in the ether, just wishing that they could coalesce into a being with opposable thumbs and the mysterious spark of consciousness. And here you are standing in the middle of it, being annoyed that you have to do it. It's flabbergasting. It just makes me want to I could cry again. This is twice in the podcast when I think about how freaking magical my ability to manipulate matter and stuff into being with my hands in these short, few, precious years. And you can do it too. And I would hate for you to be sad that you didn't take full advantage of this opportunity to be alive in the face of what is an eternity and an expanse of almost nothing. Here you are, real, mortal, manifest, able to do. Don't waste it. Squeeze all of the doing that you can out of these precious minutes. And if I wasn't here so earnestly talking to you about this thing, that I would want to hop up and go do something. And in fact, I'm going to get the heck up from this chair here in about a minute and a half after I conclude this podcast. And I'm going to go do some awesome stuff because I can. And one day I will not be able to. That's it. I spent the last 4 minutes yelling at you, earnestly imploring you to just look around you and see how insane this aluminum can is sitting here on my desk, empty of the delicious seltzer water that I just drank. Created, made manifest, optimized. You should watch the YouTube video about aluminum cans, by the way. Aluminum cans are a marvel of modern engineering. The world that humans exist in is magic. Don't forget it. Okay. Oh, I forgot about the trick I pulled at the beginning. So the setup to the dad joke of the week. Do you remember what the punchline was? The punchline was, it's making headlines. And the setup is, have you heard about the corduroy pillow? That's a good one. The last few weeks have been fairly mediocre, but that one is a good one. It's making headlines. Okay, get out of here. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Go be kind to people. Just go be nice to someone for no reason. Make them be like, what the hell was that about? Because you're being so nice to them. And then I'll see you back next week. Enjoy the email. Enjoy the week. Sure do appreciate you being here listening. And gosh dang it, it's awesome to be a mortal being with the ability to move your thumbs around. Talk to you later.